It's been over a year since Bakugan anime style was released, and around 10 months since the original guide video came out, which was a way to help you all understand how to play the game, along with many interactions and mechanics. Since then, there's been a plethora of changes to cards, Bakugan, and even the fundamentals of the game itself. Oh, and of course, Dubastroya is here, that's probably important to mention. So it's needless to say, we're overdue for an updated guide, and that's what you're watching right now. This time, however, we'll be going into much more depth, not just about gameplay, but also the resources you'll want to use and the very basics of Tabletop Simulator itself. The goal is for this to be a one-stop shop for any and all questions you could possibly have, so if you still have questions, I either recommend watching the video again, or come join a Discord server and ask there. Before we start, I feel obligated to thank everyone who has helped with this project once again, and there's a lot more people to thank this time. First off, Bakugan New Game, who provided the templates we used to make cards. Next, the people who created the original Bakugan TTS mod, Sengetsu and Peridot, who also helped us with a handful of other models, and then a bunch of people who let us use their models or just had models available to the public that they made or grabbed for us. Poke, who grabbed the Defenders of the Core models, Lugu for the Rex Vulcan and Farbros models, MH World Man with Fish for a bunch of mechanical Bakugan models, No Shame in Feeding for Shadow Wing, and Kanohi Creates for Goblin Ball. All of the links on where to support each of them will be in the description, so please support the people who helped us make this game a reality. Notice a lot of these aren't currently in the game, but we do have them and have made cards for them. Who knows, maybe if you join the Discord server, you could get some sneak peeks. Me and the devs love showing off stuff early. Speaking of which, I will also thank all the devs for the game. Max for lead development, doing the boring but very important stuff, Random for managing the Discord and Google Drive, Kavivsky and Laval for playtesting, Grim and Dankis for card development and balancing, and this time I will actually thank myself for lead card development, balancing, and marketing. Of course, I also want to thank Joystick Jesse for the collabs he's done with us. Those were a ton of fun and definitely put our game on a lot of people's radar. And lastly, I'll thank Tio on our Discord server for a project that isn't fully complete yet, but will be an awesome resource when it is, and I'll be making a video about it soon after it's done. Make sure you look out for that. Now that we've properly thanked everyone who deserves it, let's start off with a general overview of the game. Bakugan anime style is a game heavily inspired by nearly every single iteration of Bakugan, but as the name suggests, primarily the anime, specifically Season 1. In a general sense, players will take turns placing gate cards onto the field, rolling Bakugan onto these gate cards, battling the opponent's Bakugan, and using their ability cards to gain the upper hand to reach one of the win conditions, being either defeating all opposing Bakugan or reaching the HSP limit, which varies depending on how many people are in the game. Players will need to construct decks first, which consist of 3 Bakugan, 3 gate cards, and 6 ability cards. Like the anime, there are a few restrictions and rulings. First off, when you defeat a Bakugan in battle, you gain HSP equal to their base G power. However, if a Bakugan is defeated by a card effect, it does not reward HSP. Second, gate cards can only be opened when a battle is taking place on them. Third, you're only allowed 3 abilities per game, and can only use 1 ability outside of a battle each turn and 1 ability inside of a battle. This limit changes if there's a large amount of players. Finally, crit KOing is a thing in this game, but that'll be talked about later. Okay, well not finally, but finally for the overview. There's still a lot more to cover. Starting with a few disclosures. First and foremost, this is not 100% anime accurate, nor do we claim to be. There's a large amount of cards from the show that were reworked or changed in some way, especially in New Vestroya, since most cards in that season were just G-boosts. This game is meant to be completely different and a new experience from any other Bakugan game out there, and as such, the balance of this game is also not the same as any other games, not even in terms of the anime. For instance, Earth Power in the show is just a plus 50 Gs, which might be useful in the show or a different game, but in ours where resources are so limited, each card needs an actual purpose to be used, so it's been completely reworked. So no, there aren't 15 cards that do the same exact thing like there was in the show. They've all been changed. I don't know why, but that's been a big point of complaints we've gotten from people. Our game is meant to be different and balanced in its own context with little to no overlap. If that's not something you're interested in and would rather play a game that tries to follow the anime much closer, then I recommend you do that. There's already a good few options for that out there, which is why, again, we wanted to be different. Our vision was much less what if we could play the anime game, and much more what if we expanded the anime game to be a proper card and figure game. And yes, there's also completely new cards made just for this game as well. We've made an effort to have every attribute and Bakugan have their own selection to choose from, so every choice matters when you're building a deck. And unfortunately, the anime didn't give cards to every Bakugan, so we took matters into our own hands and made some ourselves. Well, not some, a lot. Second disclosure, this game is primarily played on Tabletop Simulator, and that's where the Discord plays the game. You can play it IRL if you're willing to print the cards, but if you want to play online, that's where you'll do it. Because of the platform the game is played on, it doesn't have animations or automations like other fan games do. You'll have to do everything manually, from calculations, ruling assessments, and card effect interactions. However, to compensate, I can guarantee that once you do learn the game properly, it can provide an extremely in-depth and involved experience. Tabletop Simulator is a Steam game that costs around 20 USD, but frequently goes on sale. The game is a downloadable mod on the Steam Workshop for the game that you can get with a simple click. Once you've downloaded it, open up a lobby on TTS and open up the mod table. And boom, you've got access to the entire game. You can play on this table, but it's not exactly made for full-on matches. For that, we recommend Zangetsu's table. It's much larger and is easy to navigate. Okay, now that disclosures are done and you know how to get the game, let's get on to my favorite part, which is deck building. Making decks is extremely quick and easy if you know what you're doing, but if you don't, it could be a headache and be a disaster, so it's important you know all the restrictions first. Luckily, all of the restrictions just make sense in the context of the game, and deck building is still very open. I think what's important when wanting to build a deck is knowing what attribute you want to build in. Here's a small look at each one so you can try out whichever attribute fits you best. Pyrus is your best option for full force combat, being loaded to the brim with aggressive abilities, making it the #1 attribute for fast battles. Aquos excels best when it's not having to make the first move because of its incredible adaptability, meaning it always has a way out of a tough spot. Ventus controls the tempo of the game by moving Bakugan and debuffing G-Power to deter the opposition, ensuring nothing happens until you want it to. Subterra enjoys the battle of attrition, having complete mastery over gate cards and extreme late game power, making it a complete wall that's hard to knock down once built up. Chaos wins the game by making sure the opponent doesn't get to play it, with its control-oriented abilities and plenty of support options to ensure they get the last laugh, even if you take out some of their Bakugan. Darkus is Chaos incarnate, specializing in unexpected tricks, self-sacrifice plays, and game plan disruption, making it a nightmare to go against if you don't capitalize on its few weaknesses. Now let's start with the rulings on Bakugan. Every deck can only have one Guardian Bakugan, but it isn't required. On the mod table, all of the Guardians only come in their native attributes, but you can technically run a Guardian outside of its attribute. There's not really a point because they only have abilities in their native attribute, so it's not recommended. You're also only allowed one of the exact same Bakugan in a deck, but you can have two of the same Bakugan in different attributes. So basically, no 3 Pyrus Mantras decks, but yes 3 Mantras with different attributes deck. Gate cards and abilities also have the no duplicates rule. Speaking of which, of your 3 gate cards, at least one must be an attribute or reactor card. The other 2 can be whatever you like. And finally, ability cards, which have much more restrictions. Ability cards have 4 different categories: normals, signatures, fusions, and traps. Normals and fusions have no limit of how many you can have. Signatures, however, you may only have 1 signature for each Bakugan on your team, but it's not required. And traps are limited to 1 per deck, but again, aren't required. When making a deck, there's many things to consider. Bakugan have a set G-Power, and this usually correlates to what their abilities are like. Lower G Bakugan have more or stronger abilities available, while higher G Bakugan have less or weaker cards available, with some exceptions like the Legendary Warriors or some Evolved Bakugan. We didn't want to change them as to have a few Power Fantasy Bakugan still available in the game. However, these are completely banned competitively, so if you want to improve at deck building and at the game in general, I'd recommend not using them. Anyway, this means a Bakugan like Mantras has a ton of strong cards, but has weak base G-Power, which can affect how battles turn out. Generally, you always want to force your opponent to make a move first, so running a Bakugan like Saurus, who has weaker and a lower amount of cards, but with higher Gs, is a great way to create these scenarios. Leaning too far into either direction can lead to some problems. Have a lot of weak Bakugan with powerful cards means that they'll have very limited use after they use their abilities and are more vulnerable, while running a lot of strong Bakugan with weak cards means you'll have less options to get you out of tight spots. Of course, both of these can be remedied with attribute normals, which are pretty much in every deck. Depending on your attribute, you might already have your weaknesses covered. An attribute with high defenses already available means stronger Bakugan can take care of themselves, and an attribute with high aggression can afford to use Bakugan with less Gs. You want to keep all of this in mind when deck building if you can manage that. But trust me, once you understand these fundamentals, you'll be able to make countless decks, each with completely different strategies. Seriously, I have like 100 decks now. It's crazy how many possibilities are in this game. Once you have your deck saved, you want to grab a deck box and put your Bakugan in the tip if you're a nerd, and your cards in the box in a pile. Then just right click, save object, and give it a name. There you have it, your very own deck. Congrats if you were following along. If you weren't and instead want to see how gameplay looks before making a deck, that's pretty smart actually. So let's go do that. Onto how an actual match would look like. Last guide video, it was just me narrating the whole match with my opponent, just being me with voice filter, making me look like a moron. But today, someone else will be joining me on looking like a moron. Say hello to the lead developer for the game, Max. Introduce yourself, Max.
Hi, I'm Max, and I'm a filthy French... Dude, fuck you, I'm not reading this.
Oh, Max, you silly baguette lover. Anyway, the decks we'll be using are very different from last time, as there's plenty of things we want to show off, so make sure to pay attention to every card and mechanic. There's a ton more to talk about this time around. I'll also be trying to teach you about some important controls on TTS, so listen out for that as well. Let's get this show on the road. Field open. To begin the game, both players must roll 2 6-sided dice. The player who rolls the highest will start. Looks like that's going to be me. Before my turn starts, all players must set a gate card onto the field on the opposite side of the table, touching each other as shown here. To do this, make sure you press F on the gate card you want to set first to flip it over, then place it on the field. Also, I recommend tinting your gate cards to keep track of which gate card belongs to which person. Gate card set. This gets a little complicated on how to place gate cards with more than 2 players, but like with most things, you can read about that in the rulebook. Quick side note, whenever you place or move a gate card, it must always be touching another gate card for it to be legal. Now it's officially my turn. Since it's the first turn of the game, I'm not allowed to set another gate card, so my only real option is to roll a Bakugan out. For that, I'll need my launcher. If you grab the launcher from the deck boxes, it should be at the right setting, but if not, just right-click the launcher and come down to this bottom text box. Then for strength, enter in 20, and variance 0. With this setting, I can roll my Bakugan from 3 card lengths away and nail the gate card I want, almost guaranteed. But I must be at least 2 card lengths away from the closest gate card to my launcher. This rolling only applies to cards on your section of the field. Too much talking, let's roll. Bakugan Brawl. Row Battalion, stand. I now have a Bakugan on the field, meaning I can now play an ability that either mentions the Bakugan I have standing, or an attribute normal that matches that Bakugan. And I think I might just do that. Ability card Activate, Symbol of Justice. This is a field area ability that'll give any of my other Bakugan in the area a 50G increase. These bonuses, as well as attribute and reactor gate cards, work on a constant check basis. If the Bakugan is still in the area, it gets the bonus. If it's no longer in the area, it loses the bonus. The bonus, however, is not applied again if the card reduces that Bakugan's G power and subtracts that bonus away.
You talk too much. It's my turn now. Gate card set. Bakugan, Brawl. Darkest Stinglash, stand. Unlike you, I won't be burning a resource early on, since we're only allowed a maximum of 3 ability slots per game. Saving your abilities until you really need it is important. This game is all about resource management. Don't expect to win just by throwing out abilities all the time.
Oh, you're calling my plays bad, huh? Well, I'll show you. Gate card set. Bakugan Brawl. Prius, stand. I meant I'll show you my next turn.
Just what I thought. All bark and no bite. Watch and learn, kid. Bakugan Brawl. Mega Brontes, stand.
You also didn't attack me.
Well, obviously I'm in my next turn too, duh. Going in without a backup plan is sure to end up poorly, but now that I have all my pieces set up, you're finished next turn.
Wait a second, I just realized, the Chaos Mega Brontes? I thought you were playing a Darkest deck.
So simple-minded. My Brontes isn't just a Chaos Bakugan, he's tapped into the power of Darkest as well. Brontes, as well as many other Bakugan in this game, has an affinity. This means that no matter what his attribute is, I'll be able to use Darkest abilities with him whenever I please. It's a perfect way to use multiple attributes in one deck. I wouldn't expect someone as stupid as you to understand.
Hey man, I knew about affinities too. I'm just playing up for the video. You don't have to be so mean.
No, I know. I just thought, like, I'm playing Darkest, so I should be, like, a bully or something? Sorry.
Yeah, no more Mr. Nice Guy. I'm coming for your Stinglash now. Bakugan Brawl. Paraclaw stand. Now a battle has started. Battle begins in a few different ways. Either 2 or more Bakugan on different teams are standing on the same gate card, or a card effect such as Leap Sting starts it from a distance. These distance battles can also happen through a built-in game mechanic that will be covered later on. Anyway, since it's my turn, I get the first say on whether or not I want to activate a card. But I'm in the lead right now, so I'll pass priority. My Terraclaw would be weaker than your Stinglash typically, but the extra 50 Gs from Symbol of Justice puts me just above it. How's that for wasting resources?
Don't get too cocky. Gate card open. Level down. This will set your G power equal to the lowest Bakugan currently on my team, which so happens to be my El Condor that's in my hand. Have fun being at a lowly 310 Gs.
I fucking heard you snap your fingers. I tried so hard. You didn't think I came in without a backup plan, did you? Ability card Activate, Lock Claw. This will decrease your Gs by 100. Not only that, but this can nullify a signature ability that you play.
But I didn't play a signature ability. You can only nullify in response to the card being activated, can't you?
You're right about that, but not to worry. Lock Claw also prevents the activation of signature abilities as well. Prevention is a special effect in this game, as it takes effect even when the card hasn't resolved yet. So even if you wanted to play a signature in response, you wouldn't be able to.
Perhaps not, but I don't need it. I have another trick up my sleeve. In response to your Lock Claw, using my Chaos Mega Brontes, which by the way, yes, you can use ability during a battle with a Bakugan who are not currently in the battle, I'll do this. Trap ability activate. Dynamo Dimension.
Traps? In this economy?
It's more likely than you think. See, trap abilities are interesting. They allow me to place my trap on any gate card on the field, and the next time a battle takes place, I'll apply an effect to that battle. I can use this to either place traps, literally and metaphorically, onto gate cards ahead of time, and be set up for future fights, similar to your Symbol of Justice. However, I can still use them during a battle to apply their effects now.
Terrible. What does Dynamo do anyway?
This trap will change the attribute of all Bakugan in its gate card to the opposite attribute. So now, your Terra Claw is Pyrus and my Stinglash is Chaos. Don't forget that I also use this in response to your Lock Claw. This game works on a first in, last out basis. So since your Lock Claw was played first, and my trap was played second, my trap will take effect first. And now that your Terra Claw doesn't match the attribute requirement on Lock Claw, it'll no longer fully resolve.
What? You basically made my ability completely useless.
You don't have to cry too hard now. When an ability cannot resolve due to it being illegal for resolution, meaning either your attribute does not match or your Bakugan is off the field, for example, the ability does not take up an ability slot, meaning you still have 2 abilities left for this game. However, your Lock Claw is still used, it still counts as your ability in the battle. And now I get to take your Terra Claw. Bye-bye, Krabby! I'll take that 340 HSP since that was Terra Claw's base G power. The gate card will also be put in the use pile and all Bakugan involved that weren't defeated are sent back to their owner. You only need 1000 HSP in a 1v1 to win. Seems like that victory will be mine.
Darn, what a terrible day for me. But an awesome day for a seafood boil.
I'm not done with you yet. It's time to take out your Robotallion 2. Gate card set. Bakugan, Brawl. Stinglash, stand.
As if. Gate card open. Character card. This character card will give Gs to my Robotallion equal to its current G power. Plus, since my attribute matches the character card, I'll also gain an extra 50 Gs. Think you bit off a bit more than you can chew.
Fine. This won't matter in the long run anyway.
In an attribute with low options for G power like Akos, character cards can be an easy way to deal with that issue. It went exactly as planned. Now, it's my go. Gate card set. Bakugan Brawl. Come on, try to fight my Robotallion again and see what happens.
As if I'll fall for that. I know your Preyas has to be vulnerable. Bakugan, Brawl.
Hold it. Gate card open. Victory Lap. This gate card immediately activates upon a battle starting on it. There are a few gate cards like this that can only activate when certain conditions are met, and others that also immediately activate. However, these can still be responded to. Victory Lap will reward the winner of this battle with 100 permanent Gs.
Sounds like a great trophy for my El Condor after I pick out your Preyas. Ability card, activate. Solar Plexus. This will subtract Gs from Preyas equal to the current G power of El Condor.
Looks dangerous. Good thing I won't have to worry about that. Ability card, activate. Blue Stealth. This will not only nullify your ability, but will also transfer over 50 Gs. Seems like you're the reckless one now.
Damn you and your negates! Fine! You'll see what my true plan is soon enough.
Sweet, more HSP and 100 Gs to my Preyas. I have a feeling I don't want to see his plan come true, so I have an idea to ruin everything for him. Bakugan Brawl. And now, change of attribute. Preyas is one of the few Bakugan who can change his attribute once per turn, and he can change to either Darkest or Subterra. Using a toy gimmick like this does not pass priority like activating a card does, which allows you to change an attribute and then play a card right after. I'll be changing to Subterra to activate Copycat. This allows me to copy any ability you've used or are using, and I'll copy your Dynamo to place down one of my own right on your Brontes. Hopefully this will slow down his plans at least a little bit.
Man, it's not funny when it happens to you. I don't want this damn trap here. Come back, Brontes. I have a way to get that trap off the field, and it involves a critical KO. A critical KO is when you roll your Bakugan at increased speed to knock off another Bakugan. And if you open while doing so, you defeat any Bakugan you knocked over. Not only that, but the gate card you open on as well as the gate card the knocked over Bakugan was on is sent to the use pile. However, I don't want that. I just want to knock the trap off first. In Tabletop Simulator, you'll want to go back down to your launcher settings and put a number between 35 and 40. Higher strength means higher chance of knocking the Bakugan off, but lower chance of standing. So I'll go for 40. You're only allowed to attempt this twice in a match, so use this option sparingly as it can be an important resource to clear field hazards. This is also the only time you're allowed to increase the launcher speed this high. Anyways, Bakugan, Brawl. Perfect! Dynamo is off the card and Brontes didn't stand. Traps don't have G power and thus can't fight, but are still considered Bakugan. So if I did knock it over and stood, it would have counted as a crit KO. Traps can also be affected by cards that move Bakugan, by the way. and once a trap is off the field, they no longer exist, so I don't have to worry about it. Also, as a side note, if you declare a crit KO, you must first stand a Bakugan before you're able to declare one again.
Darn, I was right in assuming that gate card is important if he's clearing off a trap like that. And might want to just stay like this and see what he does. With all your Bakugan on the field, you're allowed to retract one to reroll like Max did, but if you have more than one Bakugan available, you can instead just stay how you are and pass your turn. So, I'll do that.
Paying like the coward you are, huh? Well, fine. Brontes, stand!
He won't even attack my prey as it's on his own gate card. Just what is he planning? Well, he's on his last Bakugan, so he'll have to roll it again, right? I think I'll just wait it out another turn until he decides to fight me.
You think I'm out of options, do you? You'd be sorely mistaken. I declare a distance battle. When down to only one Bakugan, I'm able to declare a distance battle on the closest opposing Bakugan instead of rerolling. So now I'm battling your row battalion.
Well, guess I can't just sit around and do nothing. Fine. Gate card open. Aquos Reactor. Reactors will add G-Power to the corresponding attribute based on how many Bakugan of that attribute are on the field, being 50 Gs per Bakugan. I'll change praise back to Aquos to make that a plus 100 Gs.
Not too shabby. Too bad it's not enough. Gate card open. Queen's Grace. This will revive one of my defeated Bakugan and add it to the current battle, making it a 2-on-1.
So that's why he's using a Chaos Bakugan. I should have seen this coming. This is a bad situation. I can't save my Robo, and he has one of his Bakugan back, but I can still win. I only need to defeat one more Bakugan to win from HSP, and there's only one gate card left. Just one battle. That's all I need. I guess it's my turn to reroll Preyas. You have to win this. I know just what to do.
You really think you have a chance? That's my gate card, and last I checked, you're out of abilities. So let's just end this quick. Go, Brontes! With my last ability, I activate Aurora Dimension. This allows me to apply the effect of a card from my hand with Brontes, and I'll be applying Wraithstinger. When applying the effect of another card, you must ensure that the additional requirements are also met, or else it won't work. So if I tried applying Tsunami Wave, for example, nothing would happen as I don't have 3 Aquos Bakugan on the field. Wraithstinger doesn't have one of those. We just needed to get that ruling across and we're running out of room in the script. Anyways, Wraithstinger will transfer 50 Gs from each defeated Bakugan to Brontes permanently, giving him just enough to beat your Preyas.
In response...
What? You're out of abilities. You can't possibly do anything else.
I activate my Fusion ability, Blue Squall. Fusion abilities require another ability to be activated beforehand to be played, and they don't take another ability slot. Not only that, but if I wanted to, I could have used it in the same battle I used Blue Stealth. It's a strong mechanic, but both the base card and Fusion are weaker than your typical Guardian signature, giving me more options but less explosive force. Blue Squall allows me to apply the effect of an attribute normal I've already activated, which would be Copycat. And then with Copycat, I'll once again use your Dynamo against you. Since you want to beat Darkest so badly, I figured I'd give you just what you want. Now you don't meet the requirement of Aurora Dimension, and it can't resolve.
This felt like a really long avenue to beat me. Gate card open? Darkest attribute? Please forget that you can change attribute, please forget that you can change attribute, please forget that you can change attribute, please forget that you can change attribute.
Oh, well, I guess I'll change the Darkest then, even though I was still winning since it gives 60 to Pyrus.
No!
Game, set, match. He still does have another Bakugan available to him, but I've met the HP requirement, so it doesn't really matter. Plus, there's no more gate cards to play on, and when that happens, the winner will be decided by the highest HSP. But there's no need to debate about who won. It's pretty much always me.
Yeah, whatever, man. You set up the script so you'd win anyways.
Shh. They don't need to know that. And that about does it for the guide. There's still plenty of things we didn't fully cover, but everything included in this video and not included are in the rulebook, so please I also recommend reading that before jumping into the game. Once you have, come and join the Discord server. The community is always willing to help out new players, and there's events and tournaments held regularly. Also, if you're watching this soon after it's uploaded, the Vexos update should be just around the corner. So if you want to be notified as soon as that goes live and every other update in the future, I still recommend you join Discord. Seriously, this is like the main hub for you to enjoy the game. After working on this game for over a year, playing it for over a year, and watching others enjoy it for over a year, you can safely say this is a Bakugan experience you really don't want to miss out on. And I'm not just saying that because I helped make it. This has purely been a passion project for me and the team, and we just want people to at least know that this is an option if they're starved for Bakugan content. So please, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the game, or if this interested you even a little, share this around with anyone else you know that likes Bakugan, and maybe even subscribe if you want to see more Bakugan videos. I got a lot planned. But this video has gone for a very long time, and I've said everything I need to say. So, thank you for watching, and don't ever stop brawling.